Hey guys, it's Dream. Today we're going to talk about being invisible if you don't have a personal brand and why it will cost you in 2026. So I have an iPad here, so let's just do the iPad little whiteboard session. So in 2026, as a creator, if you have no brand, you have no chance. And when I say that, it's if you have no personal brand, it's hard to compete in an industry around creating if you don't have a brand about creating. That makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. But anyway, what is a personal brand? So basically a personal brand is we have others over here and then we have you. It's what makes you, you. So for me, what makes me, me isn't just videography, it isn't just editing, it's helping others, it's teaching others. I love the gym, so that's my personal brand. I love sports, I love getting in shape. I love talking to strangers. This is what makes me, me. It's not just revolving around your industry, your job, you know what I mean? It's not just your occupation. Your occupation revolves around you, right? So your personal brand is you, right? It's your story, it's your voice, and it's your online presence, right? These are the main things. It's your story, your voice, and your online presence. This is what makes you, you, right? If you didn't have your story, if you have your own voice, and if you didn't have your own online presence, you're just, you know? Back then it's perfect. Back in the day it's perfect. But now it's a bit hard, which puts me to my next point, right? And so basically what I'm saying is this year, especially next year and years to come, if people can't find you online, then you practically don't exist. And if you don't exist, you don't get clients, connections, or even the respect that you deserve. And if you're a really talented person, a really talented creator, a really talented photographer, videographer, you know, it's very hard to get that recognition if you don't have an online presence. And now it kind of sucks because you want to be in the moment, you want to connect with actual people, but that's just the way it's going. And then we don't like AI sometimes, but that's just the way it's going. So we just got to adapt, you know? And so in 2026, I believe the fastest way to get left behind is if you don't have a personal brand. So let's talk about why a personal brand is important. So your personal brand is like your storefront, right? It's your digital handshake. It's your first impression before you even speak. And you know, brands, companies, strangers will search you up on socials before they actually talk to you in real life. And that's what I mean by it's your first impression. If you make a good first impression, it's a lot easier to land the client, land the connection than it is if you don't have an online presence because they don't actually know who they're dealing with. You know, it's easier to talk to someone you know what they look like. And that's what I mean. Nowadays, people check your social media before they even check your website. Your website's there just for like social proof. That's what I see it as, right? If your social media page doesn't show who you are, your voice, your vision, your goals, your ambitions, you as a person, then you're honestly leaving a lot of opportunities on the table that you don't even know about because they don't even speak to you in the first place, right? That first impression, it's in the head and they're gone. But I don't know how many I've lost. I probably lost heaps because people don't like the way I talk sometimes, or, you know, like I'm a bit out there sometimes, but just be you, you know? You're not for everyone. So just, that's the easiest way, is just to be you. It takes less toll on your head and it takes less toll on your life in general. There's been countless times, still to this day, even yesterday, today, where brands have messaged me saying, it's always the opener. I've seen your videos on your socials. I love them. Let's go. Let's work. And it goes to show how important it is. And your website is there for social media. They check that after to see, oh, have they actually worked with these brands? You know, what are they who they say they are on Instagram? And so website's still important. But your personal brand, for me, every time a big client or a big connection comes forward to talk to me, I've seen your videos on social media, right? You know, I didn't pitch, I didn't beg, I didn't ask like really hard, I didn't push for it to land it. They came to me. And I actually never have pitched myself, you know? And that's the crazy part of it, right? If you can be talented, you're really good at what you do, and if you have a personal brand, it just makes things so much easier. And it's like my visual timeline from 2020 to 2023 to 2026. In 2020, skills, they mattered heaps. You have to be, if you were skilled, you get all the jobs, all the recognition and stuff, which is great. And in 2023, but portfolio mattered. That's in 2023. If you had, who did you work with, you know? Did you work with the biggest brands there are, you know, websites? That's what mattered in 2023. Whoever caught on early was smart. And in 2026, attention and trust wins. So who can garner the most attentions on their social media? With BTS reels, with behind the scenes processes, talking about how you day one thing you learned that could help someone else. And building that trust with the audience, and that's what wins. Because if someone sees your first impression on social media, on personal branding, and they trust you, happy days, man, happy days, you know what I mean? So yeah, we'll talk about my journey a little bit. Like my journey was helping and inspiring others, and that's when I started. That's how I started. Like I can show you videos from back in the day. It would just be like how to get out of the rut, the creative rut, or you know, how to stop overthinking. That's how my videos used to be. And I used to just talk to camera just like this. That's how I started. And because that's how the name Dreaming a Lot came about. Is like, if you're a person that's dreaming a lot, this is the channel, this is the page for you, right? And I still am that. It's just in a different approach. So my videos that I make are cool, you know, they lend me projects, they lend me big clients, connections, but they also inspire a lot of people that not too many think about. How much my videos inspire others and help others. And I try to help as many people as I can that DM me or message me, which is why I started a community, a WOP community, right? And that's what brought me the clients. That's what brought me the connections, not cold emails, not cold approaches. You have to be proficient in sales and stuff, but personal branding just makes it so much easier. Just gotta trust me on that one. I know some of you out there are like, I just don't want to do it, I'm too scared, right? The most excuses I hear, or the most things I hear that people say about personal branding that they want to start is, I'm not ready. Okay, yep, I'm too young. Or I don't want to be cringe. When I say I'm too young, it's like I'm too not experienced enough. Or I don't want to be cringe is the main one. Is like, I don't want to be seen by my peers as being that guy, you're trying to be an influencer. All right, honestly, nobody cares, right? Nobody is looking at you like you think you are. Spotlight syndrome, I don't know what it's called, but I get that. I always get that, you know. I think people see me like, who the hell is this guy, man? You know what I mean? If you don't have a personal brand, is that sadly, like, it sucks to say, but you'll probably be forgotten very soon. You become forgettable, and in an industry of so many creators, that you might just blend in with the rest. Do you know what I mean? And since no one really knows you or even like can't find you, you become easily replaced. That sucks, but it's the hard truth. And when you see it like that, these excuses, they don't matter, you know? Big X, you know? They don't matter, trust me. Like, I know creatives that are so much better than me in 3D, in videography. They just don't post about it. And it sucks, and they're way better than me, right? They just don't post about it. And they don't create that personal brand for themselves, so they can't be seen. Where I do, I just post about it. Even if it's shit, I still post about it, and it gets seen by these big brands or big clients or big connections. So if they don't show their work, they don't share their journey, you know, it's not cool. It's not that thing anymore. Back then it was that thing where, you know, you can be that best kept secret, you know, and people would follow, be like, oh wow, what's this guy up to next? But that era is kind of over. You know, you got to show your flaws, you got to show your behind the scenes, you got to show your journey. That's what makes you you, and what makes people want to connect with you. And now you're probably thinking like, I don't know what to post, right? Honestly, start simple. It can be a 30-second reel. It can be something that you learned that would help someone else. And it could be a process in your business or your industry. And trust me, it builds connections way faster than a polished portfolio. And if like me, you might learn the hard way that people don't connect with perfection. They don't connect with the, you know, the best, you know, the best, I don't know, the most money, the most cars, the best videos, you know, they connect with you. And countless times of videos that do better and for my audience, they take more from it is my BTS content. Not my polished videos. My polished videos are cool, they're social proof. You know, they're like, oh, yeah, this guy can do it. But the BTS content is like, oh, I can do it too if you're watching. All right, so, and it includes more of me talking and, you know, people connect with me more. But yeah, I always say, start now, perfect it later. Just start it now. Try writing your script, start recording yourself talking. I just sat down and talked. This camera is really pissing me off, keeps breaking. But start now, perfect later. So don't wait until you have 10K followers to really lock in on your personal brand, and just start with one honest post this week. I had 300 followers, 200 followers, half of my family and friends. Most of them, I think everything was my family and friends right out of high school. And I used to post, you know, how to push past negativity, how to deal with rejection, how to, you know, how to change your mindset, how to overcome creative blocks. And people were from us just after high school. People were like, what is this guy doing, bro? And then I just deal with it. I'm like, I don't care if I'm cringe. I want to help others. That's my goal. That's my mission. But yeah. All right, next is, you know, personal brand and what it's done for me. For me, it's been an opportunity magnet, like a proper. The number one thing that's brought me clients, brought me connections. And this is a little diagram. This is me, or this can be you. This is you. It'll bring you collabs. It'll bring you clients. It'll bring you community. It'll bring you attention, and it'll bring you trust. Right, I'll give you an example. Most recently, you know the videos I do with the ball flying through the air? I did 3 personal branding videos on that. I wasn't asked to do it. I did one for Maroons, I did one for Australia Cup, that I just was filming and just giving the footage. That was the transaction. And I just did the effect because I love it. I'm passionate for it. I want to show my audience, right? So I did it, posted it. Those 3 videos got the attention, right? Garnered about 105,000 views on Instagram. And then it got attention and it got my community involved. And then it was slowly building my trust, right? My trust was building. Then an opportunity came around to work with New South Wales Blues, even though I go for Queensland, but New South Wales Blues for the same effect, for one of their training videos, right? So I did it, and I did it for free. It wasn't unpaid, but I see it as a strategic move, right? To build that connection, to build the relationship, to then move to a bigger organization that I really, like a dream client, right? So that New South Wales was a collab with another creator, Bocco, a killer in the industry, New South Wales Blues media rep. And so we collabed on that, and we made a hectic video. So that built the trust, which then in turn, Stan saw it, a lot of big media organizations saw it, and they're like, I want this. So Premier League is moving to Stan in August or something. They wanted an announcement video, and boom, that's how he got the client. It was all paid after that. And so that's just one example of many that personal branding has done for me. And once you hit those 5 pillars, and they go concurrently, then you're laughing, man. So now I'm just gonna give you an action plan, just to put into action, this week, right? First is to audit your profile. And what I mean by this is go to your profiles and go check it and just see, is it you? Is it what you want others to see, how to see you? Like when I first started, I didn't know how to act in front of camera. I was very serious. I was trying to make jokes, but I just gotta be myself. That comes over time. So audit your profile. If it's you, sweet, you're already there, But if it's not, and it's someone that you're like trying to imitate or trying to be, just be yourself. Honest. Next, post 3 times a week. You can even be raw. To your stories, I post like once or twice a week. I try to, because doing client work. But try to post 3 times a week, and even if it's raw stuff, thank you videos, what you learned, something you learned that could help someone else. To your story, doesn't matter. Just try post 3 times a week. And then which goes to my third point, is using storytelling in your videos. People want to hear stories. They don't want to hear bragging. They want to hear that. They want to hear stories and true stories, ups and downs. So try to use storytelling. And then after that, after you get those down, you can start looking at optimizing it by using hooks and giving value. How can it help someone else? Before you post a video, it should be, how can this help someone else? It could be legit a cool video, but it could inspire someone, or it could be educational. It could teach someone how to do an effect, how to do a video, how to color grade, whatever. If you're a creator, how can you give value to your audience? And lastly, which is the hardest one for a lot of people, is just to show your face as much as you can. Because people connect stories to faces. And if you're there constantly in their face, they're gonna remember you, and then you're gonna build a loyal audience from that, that can then in turn bring a lot of opportunities for you. If you don't tell your story, then someone else will, and someone else can. That happens in business, happens everywhere. Like people have an idea, they run out of time, someone else has that same idea or same story. And then yeah. So let me ask you, if I was to go to your Instagram right now, would I know what you're about? Would I trust you with my money, my brand, my vision, my goals? And if the answer is no, then you should start today. Just don't overthink it, just start. Drop your Instagram in the comments, I can have a look, give you some feedback. But yeah, you're either invisible or you're undeniable. Bow wow, good night.